Hey everyone, so before we get into the recap, I just had a few things that I wanted to share with you guys. So this past week I had the amazing pleasure once again of being on Pink Shade with Erin Martin. It's a podcast and it's available on iTunes, on Stitcher, on anywhere that podcasts are available. You can find Erin's channel Pink Shade. She is a fellow 90 Day Fiance genre fan and she is an amazing bloggist, writer, podcaster, and I'm so glad that she just announced that she's going to be coming over to the world of YouTube and doing video recaps too. I'm so excited that Erin is coming to YouTube. There's nothing but love and support from my way over to hers, and there is no competition here between me and this lady. I mean, she is a friend, she's a fellow Trash-tastic TV lover, and I truly do love Erin. So Erin, congratulations on everything that you're doing. There's no competition here. I love you, girl. You're going to do amazing on YouTube. There's room at the table for everybody. So we all got to come together and do these crazy recaps together. We had so much fun doing the podcast this week. Oh my gosh, we just laughed, talked about everything. So go listen to that right now. And also go to Erin's channel, Pink Shade, and subscribe to her YouTube channel. Guys, this is going to be amazing. I can't wait to watch her every week. So let's get on to the recap because we have got a lot to talk about this week. Alright, so let's just jump right into this recap. So we're going to start with Pedro and Chantal. Pedro and Chantal are still on the family vacation from hell up in the North Georgia mountains. They're in the cabin and everybody's fixing breakfast. Pedro's still asleep and Chantal's family uses this time to bash him. He's not there, and so they decide to wait to bless the food until Pedro gets there, even though Chantal already told them he's asleep. So Mother Chantal is kind of going in a little bit, talking about how she feels that Pedro and his family put together this whole scheme and that they're running some human trafficking, sex trafficking, organ harvesting ring and have lured Chantal into it under the guise of learning how to speak English. I think that they're kind of on the right track as far as Pedro coming to America to get a green card so that he can send money home, but they're just not articulating it very well because, well, they're idiots. This is a horrible family. I do not like family Chantal at all. Her family is irritating. They get on my nerves. But I will say this, I do think they are kind of on the right track when it comes to Pedro's motives. I don't think Pedro's motives are pure. I think he married Chantal specifically to get a green card. I think he wanted to send money home to his family because he wanted to help his family have a better life. I really think that his mother and sister have manipulated him into sending them tons and tons of things, including shipping a 50-inch TV to the Dominican Republic. When they went down to the Dominican Republic on the trip for the wedding, he brought them several different things. He brought them light fixtures, honey. He brought them all kinds of stuff for their house. It was like trading spaces up in there. They were remodeling and he had shipped everything in a suitcase. I was like, dang, Pedro, did you pack any clothes for yourself? He brought all the stuff to furnish their home, it looked like. I do feel like family Chantal kind of has a point that Pedro's motives probably aren't the purest. But the way they articulate it, I mean, first of all, let's just get with the horrible Spanish. Mother Chantal tries to speak Spanish all the time, and she just needs to stop. She needs to give it up. She can't speak Spanish. She has a really hard time with her pronouns, her female and her male pronouns, because she uses the ah and the o at the same time as if she's not sure which one goes where, so I'm just going to use them both, throw it out there. Hopefully one of them will stick. It'll be like, hablo, habla, que pasa, que paso. Ma'am, there's no two words. There's one. There's one Spanish word. It's either a male or a female word. It's either a or o. It's not both. I think that they're on the right track when it comes to the whole scamming thing. And not necessarily a scam, but just coming to America for a green card. I think that's why Pedro's here. I don't think Pedro necessarily came to America because he loves Chantal. I think Chantal's kind of like a bonus. I think that he does care for Chantal. I don't think it's like a as in Nicole situation here, but I think that there is an underlying motive for why he's here. And I do agree with them. Now, with the whole harvesting of the American dollar, I don't know why we had to use the word harvesting. This is not cotton. I don't know what we're talking about. Like, we harvesting corn. I think they watched Get Out one too many times and they think Pedro might be trying to harvest Chantal's organs or something. I don't know why she's using the word harvesting. But just say trying to take your money, girl. The money that he does have in America is probably a little bit more than he would have had in the DR. So I think that they are on the right track. They're just not good at articulating things because they just don't have a brain. Father Chantal, you know, I think he's a Stepford husband. He is a robot, so he still has this creepy, stupid smile on his face the whole time. He just says some words, and then River says something, and then Winter and Fall and Spring and Summer said something too. Like I said, I think they're kind of on the right track. They have the right idea in their head. They just don't have the brains to articulate it correctly, and they make no sense when they speak. Then later they go to this like bar, or they said it was a wine tasting, I think, but it looked like a bar to me. It literally looked like they were in the back of a Buffalo Wild Wings. They were getting peach bellinis and Pedro was drinking his red wine, and so they start talking about the Dominican Republic trip because of course we can't let this trip go. And family Chantal still thinks that they didn't do anything wrong, and Pedro's trying to explain to them like, yeah, you were mad disrespectful to my family at my grandma's house when you don't want to get out of the car. And Chantal was trying to, you know, come behind her family and she's trying to be the peacekeeper. And she's like, you know, well, they didn't want to get out of the car because of the coyotes, and the machetes. The machetes? That's why they didn't want to get out of the car, because there were coyotes and machetes apparently around. I don't know, but I mean, it was disrespectful for them not to get out of the car, but it was also disrespectful for, you know, her mom to serve them chicken feet at the dinner. I mean, both families are out of pocket. Both families are just ridiculous, and they both need to acknowledge the wrong that they both did on that trip. The trip was horrible, but I'm tired of talking about this Dominican Republic trip. Like, we need to either squash it, or Pedro and Chantal just need to get a divorce. I mean, I'm tired of talking about this DR trip. I bring up to Pedro that they think that, you know, he might be planning on moving back to the DR behind Chantal's back. And Pedro kind of admits that, yeah, he does plan on going back to the Dominican Republic. And Chantal, with her extra long 24-inch eyelashes, looks at him and says, when was this gonna happen, and why do I not know anything about it? And he's like, well, not us, just me. Collective gasp, because we're all shooketh right now, because Pedro just said he's planning on going back to the DR without his wife. Fast forward, they have a private conversation about it while they're playing pool, and Pedro basically is trying to explain to Chantal that he has this family business that he wants to run out of the DR. And, you know, he's not trying to move back there permanently, but he only needs to be there 1 week, 2 weeks, 1 week, 1 month. Chantal's like, well, why wouldn't you have run this past me? Why am I just now hearing about this? It's really weird. The other thing that's really strange is that Pedro has not said yet what this business is. He keeps calling it the family business. It's my family business. It's my family's business. Like, okay, it's your family's business, but what is the business? Is it a liquor store? Is it a restaurant? Is it a clothing store? Is it a drug trafficking ring where you're harvesting organs from small children and black people? I mean, what is the family business? We don't know. Pedro hasn't said. Chantal's trying to get a clear answer out of him. He's being shifty. I have lumped Pedro into the Luis category in the shiesty basket because he is being sneaky as I don't know what. First he talks about he's going back to the DR without his wife, and then he tries to clear it up and say, oh, I'm only going back for a short amount of time just to get the business up and running because it's cheaper to run there than in America. But you won't even tell me what the business is. And even when Chantal straight up asked him what it was, he still didn't answer it. He was like, it's my family business. You understand? No, I don't understand. We don't understand. You barely speaking English. I don't know what Chantal said in Spanish. I don't know what's going on. I'm confused. And Pedro's in the shiesty basket with Luis. I don't know what's going on here, but something ain't right. Something's not right there. It doesn't feel right. It doesn't sit well with my spirit. And she needs to address this and quick, fast, and in a hurry. That's it for them. Let's move on to the next couple. Second is George and Anfisa. We didn't see a lot of George and Anfisa last night. So George moves back into Anfisa's apartment. Anfisa got her own apartment. George was staying with his family, and now he's coming back to stay with her. George is all distraught and upset, honey, because he went and looked around the apartment and saw that Anfisa really didn't have any arrangements made for him to come live there. He opened up the closet, child, and it was full of purses and her red bag with her makeup and her shoes and her clothes, and wasn't no room for George's stuff. And then they sit down on the bed and they have this fake conversation about how he's sorry once again for the lies he told at the tell-all about her being a sex traffic worker or porn star, etc. I really didn't care for that conversation. I felt like it was really staged. It looked like they were just having, I don't know, like TLC was like, sit down and talk about this. It was really boring. It was really lame. I could have done without it. Cut it, throw it away, throw it in the trash. Fast forward, so George is trying to like spice up the romance. He's trying to earn Anfisa's trust. He's trying to get the romance going. So they go to this salsa class, and y'all, I thought this was gonna be super like staged and fake and have that whole camera movement like they've been doing the past few weeks whenever they're in scenes together. But you know what? It was actually cute. Like, Anfisa can actually dance. She got a little rhythm. George had two left feet, honey. He was stomping all over Anfisa's toes. But you know, he got down at the end a little bit, and they had a little dip and a kiss, and it was just real cute. Like, Anfisa, you know, kind of smiled. You know, she smiled as much as she could with all the Botox. And George genuinely looked happy, and they looked cute together. I liked the salsa dancing scene. I will give them that. That was real cute. I'm here for it. You know, that was all we saw of this couple, but you know, I think that they're going to have more drama going forward. It's all nice now, but I think in the near future, this little cute little bubble they're living in is going to burst. But that was pretty much it for them. I don't really have nothing else to say. So let's move on. Let's not waste any time on them. Third couple, we got a lot to talk about. All right, so we got David and Annie. So it starts off with David and Annie somehow wandering their way into this Mexican restaurant. And the restaurant looked pretty legit. I mean, it looked like a 3-star type place. You know, not the most expensive restaurant probably in Louisville, but not the cheapest thing either. It wasn't like cheap, greasy Mexican. It was like kind of nice upscale. Those big high back booths, honey, they were living large. And I was like, who's paying for lunch? And Annie had the same question because she didn't know how it was going to get paid for, and neither did I. They were dipping up in guacamole. David was ordering shrimps and steaks and all kind of stuff, and Annie's sitting there with her nose turned up because she don't like American food. I was just like, okay, this girl doesn't like American food. How about you take her to a Thai restaurant? He's trying to, I guess, Americanize her, but she already said she does not enjoy American food. She misses her food from home. How about you find an authentic Thai restaurant and take her to it, David? Just maybe. If we're going to spend $40 on lunch, why not take her to somewhere that she's going to actually enjoy the food? They're talking about David getting a job, or how he's, you know, trying to work, and how he is capable of working, and how he has worked before. And you know what? David has worked before, which leads me into my next point, the interview. David waddles his way into this law firm with this guy who looked like he belonged on a Bravo show. He looked like the guy friend on any show on Bravo that involves a bunch of white people with money. That's what that dude looked like. He waddles into the law firm looking straight up like Jabba the Hutt with a suit coat on. And, you know, talks to the receptionist, and finally the guy brings him in for the interview. Now, David has worked before. David has had a job. David, I think, was in politics at one point. That's why he always wears that little pin with the seal on it. Yeah, David has worked. So, I don't know if y'all noticed how David went in that interview and acted a complete fool. This man asked him, what are your goals? He went in there and told him, well, my goals are to make money because I ain't got none right now. And I got to keep my 25-year-old wife happy. Now here's my thing. Jabba the Hutt went in there and acted a straight up fool on purpose. I'm telling y'all, David has half a brain. David is a lot of things. He is lazy. He is manipulative. He's a liar. He's fat. He's disgusting. But he is not crazy. He's a lot of things, but he's not crazy, nor is he dumb. And I'm telling you right now, David went in that interview and sabotaged and acted a fool on purpose. And you know why? So that he can go home and tell Annie and call Chris on the phone, so he can tell Nichi, oh, I went on an interview. I'm applying for jobs. I'm trying to get jobs, but nobody will hire me. I don't know what's wrong. I don't know why nobody will give me work, because I'm going in an interview and acting a fool on purpose. That's exactly what he's doing. No, David knows how to conduct himself in an interview. He knows what interview etiquette is. He has worked in the past, and he knows you don't go in there and say things like, I need to keep my 25-year-old wife happy, and I just need this job because I need some money. I'm strapped for cash. I ain't got nothing. I've been traipsing around Asia for 4 years, and now I'm back and I'm broke. He knows better than to say that, y'all. I'm telling you. He went in there and acted a fool on purpose so that he could manipulate and cry and whine later to Chris so that he could get out of paying that rent. David might be fooling y'all, but he's not fooling me. Fast forward later with David and Annie, they put up on the screen that Jacob has been shot. And of course, we heard about this a few months ago, so we already knew it was coming. I did not really expect it to be how it was. David was just upset, and he was actually crying real tears, and I think he was really upset. Annie was trying to console him, honey, because she didn't give two flying farts about Jacob getting shot. She was trying to console David because he was kind of getting upset in his confessional, but he finally just says what happened and how it was an accidental shooting. The friend accidentally shot him, and really the kid is lucky to be alive. I mean, y'all, it's a freak accident, and he is really lucky to be alive. I mean, there's an angel on his shoulder somewhere. And they go to Ashley's apartment to visit her and her kids, and they bring Jacob with them. And so Jacob walks in, and honey, Jacob looks a hot mess. I'm telling you, baby, that face is swollen, honey. The bullet is still in his face. He looks disheveled. Just, oh my God. I couldn't believe they had that baby on camera like that. So he, you know, kind of strolls in. He's clearly high as a kite on whatever pain medicine they gave him. They gave him a very strong dose because he could barely keep his eyes open sitting on that couch. But he comes in and hugs the nieces and nephews, and Ashley's being cordial to Annie for now just because, you know, the dire circumstances. And so David proceeds to tell Ashley and everybody else in the room that they have decided to let Jacob go live with his mom in Texas because, of course, they have no insurance. They have no way of taking care of him. They have no way of paying for this surgery to get this bullet out of this boy's face. David just has nothing. First of all, he wanted to charge his baby some rent because he needed help paying $1,000 a month. He didn't have it. Now this baby then got shot, and you don't even have any insurance to help the child. David, what are you here for? What is your purpose on this planet? Why are you here, sir? I just want to know. I just don't understand why Annie is taken up with this man who has absolutely nothing. He can't help no one. He can't help his wife coming from a hut in Thailand, and he can't help his son who just got shot in the face. He is just pitiful. Just pitiful. They send Jacob home, and it was just really sad. I mean, God, oh, it just broke my heart seeing him like that. Lord, just the image of his face is like burned in my brain. David and Annie's have been traumatizing me the past 2 weeks, and I'm gonna need them to stop. I'm gonna need them next week to chill out. But that's pretty much it for them. It was nice to see Ashley not throwing water on David or saying something mean to Annie for once. But let's move on to the next couple. Next is Molly and Luis. Now, y'all, we only got one thing to talk about with Molly. Kinsley, you in danger, girl. Molly is going on a business trip with her coworker that rode out with her to go get Olivia when they didn't go pick her up. They just talked to her at the door. She's going for a few days to I don't know where. Olivia's still out of pocket. And so guess who has to watch Kinsley for the days that she's gone? You guessed it, Daddy of the Year, Luis. Luis wants nothing to do with Kinsley. He asked Molly, can her daddy take her this weekend? Molly's like, nah, I already switched the weekends back. He can't take her. It's gotta be you. You gotta brush teeth. You gotta get vitamins. You gotta wipe booties. All this different stuff. And Luis wants nothing to do with Kinsley. And Luis cannot stand Kinsley. I mean, he said it himself. He's not trying to watch her because she's so wild. I mean, I don't know what Molly is thinking, leaving her 7-year-old daughter with this man that she barely knows that she brought from the Dominican Republic just a few months ago. She don't really know Luis like that to be leaving her child with him. He was already making sexually suggestive comments to your 17-year-old daughter. So what do you think he's going to be saying to your 7-year-old daughter? This boy has no filter. He has no sense of morals. He is sneaky and shysty and slimy and grimy and no, like he's not the person to leave with your child for days on end, just him and her in the house alone. Do you not, a child can't care for themselves. They need somebody to stand up and protect them for them because they don't know how to protect themselves, Molly. That's your job, and you're doing a terrible job of it right now. You're not protecting your child's well-being, which is your primary responsibility as a mother. It's to protect your child's well-being to the best of your ability. Now, I know some things happen that are outside of our control and they are tragic and they are terrible and that's awful. But if there's things that you can control, you should control them. And one of those is not leaving your daughter with some man you just met and brought from another country that you don't even know, and he's 27 and has already made sexually suggestive comments to your other daughter. Molly. What? No. Somebody call CPS. Somebody call them in Georgia. Somebody get Georgia CPS on the line. I don't understand what she could possibly be thinking. She's still trying to force fatherhood on Luis, and he clearly doesn't want it. I don't understand what her problem is. Now, at the very end, she did kind of come to her senses a little bit and called her mom and told her mom to go over there and check on Kinsley because she didn't think that Luis was going to be able to do it. So she did kind of come to her senses. At the end of every episode, Molly kind of comes back just a little bit, just like last week when she said her kids are going to come first now, and she was basically thinking that the relationship with Luis probably isn't going to work. So she kind of comes to her senses at the end, but she always tries to push Luis. Like, she tries to give him that chance, but girl, give it up. He's done. He doesn't want to be a father. He can't even stand your kids. He doesn't even want to watch them during the day, let alone for days on end. This is terrible. This is awful. Luis thought he was going to be coming to America and living La Vida Loca, and now he got to wash the dishes. He got to clean up after Kinsley. He got to wait for Molly to come home. He is just hating his life. It's miserable. It's like prison. I mean, he said it himself. I don't trust this man, and I don't trust this man watching her kid. And I'm glad she finally came to her senses and called her mom and told her mama to go over there. She need to go over there and get that baby and just bring her to her house. But that's it. I don't have nothing else to say to Molly. It's a pitiful situation. And I pray to God that she stops trying to leave Kinsley at home alone with this man. Let's move on to the next couple. So next is Russ and Pal. So I'm going to get through Russ and Pal real quick because we're about to shut down Pal's BS. I'm tired of this girl. They already bored me the first 3 episodes. And then this week, Pal just came with the BS so hard, I'm just about to tear her down from beginning to end. So let's get right on into it. So Pal goes to see her family, right? So she goes to the apartment, and at first it's all smiles and hugs and kisses. Her brothers and sisters, her mom, her nieces and nephews, everybody's like, oh, Pal's home, Pal's home. Then they all sit down on the couch, and then they go in on Pal. Basically, they're saying that they're mad because Pal has not contacted them for 4 years and don't understand why. What's the reason? Basically, the reason why Pal has not contacted her family is because she's stuck up now and she's in America and she's a model and she don't have time for her little family in Bogota. That's basically what it boils down to. But she tries to come with some BS, and let's break it down one by one. BS story number 1. She told her family that the reason why she has not contacted them is because her first 2 years in Oklahoma were miserable. She didn't have no friends, no family, nobody, and so she didn't call her friends or family at home. How does that make sense, Pal? How does that make sense that when you didn't have anybody that you would not call home? That makes no sense. That's BS, Pal. You thought you were too good for them and you didn't want to be bothered. She tried to say that, oh, I didn't want to call home because I didn't want to call home sad. No, nobody thinks like that. Nobody. Like, nobody thinks like that. If you are close to your family and you move thousands of miles away to another country where you are alone, where your husband is gone all day, leaving you at home, and you have nobody, you're going to be picking up the phone and calling your mom or your brother or your cousin or whoever as much as you can because you miss them. You didn't miss them. That's why you didn't call them. BS excuse number 2, because when the first excuse didn't work, we have to default to BS story number 2, which involves tears and a miscarried baby. Pal proceeds to tell her family that she had a miscarriage due to some rare blood type that she has that makes it hard for her to conceive. Now, let me just put a disclaimer right here. I'm not trying to downplay or downsize the grief and the hurt that comes from miscarrying a baby. I can never even begin to imagine what that feels like because I haven't experienced it. So to all the women who have experienced miscarriage, my heart goes out to you. But Pal is not genuinely distraught over this miscarriage. There is no end all be all. Pal has not gotten a diagnosis from a doctor that says you will never have children. So the fact that she found out she was pregnant and then a couple days later she miscarried is not to me an excuse for her to not call her family. I know she says that she didn't want to call with bad news, but my thing is, if you didn't want to tell them, just don't tell them that. Keep it to yourself and maybe wait until you're ready to talk about it. That's still no excuse for you not to call your family. But of course, she sheds a few tears and it breaks her family down and they cool down a little bit and stop coming at her so hard because, of course, they feel sorry for her, and it worked. That's exactly what she wanted them to do. I didn't feel that the sadness over the miscarriage was genuine in her case. Like I said, not to downplay anybody else's miscarriages, but I just don't feel that Pal was genuine when she was talking about that. I feel like she was using it as an excuse to get her family off her back because she hasn't called them in 4 years. I don't think she wanted to get pregnant. I don't think she wanted to have a baby. I don't think she was expecting to have a baby, allegedly. That's just my idea. I'm not saying for sure that she thinks this, but I just didn't feel a genuine sadness when she was talking about it. So even though her family got off her back in the moment, a few days later when they visited yet another park, I mean, Jesus, did this girl ever go to school? All they did was visit parks the whole time they were there. They visit yet another park with her brother John, who is kind of fine. And he basically goes in on her again and says that you didn't call us and we thought Russ had forbid you to talk to your family. And that was the funniest thing I've ever heard because Russ ain't forbid nobody to do nothing. He's sitting over there with his greasy Justin Bieber bangs, blinking, not understanding a word they're saying because they're speaking Spanish. He doesn't know what the conversation is. He doesn't realize that John is going in on Paula right now. And Paula's trying to say, oh, you know, I'm so sorry, I'm sad. I mean, she just wasn't genuine at all. She clearly hasn't talked to her family because she's stuck up. She's sedity. She thinks she's in America now. She's a model and she's too good to call her family. That's honestly what I think it is. I don't think that she was sad. I don't think that it was about the miscarriage. And it definitely wasn't Russ, because Russ don't control her. Russ don't stop her from doing nothing. He didn't stop her from taking those naked pictures. Remember, he told her he didn't want to do no lingerie. He didn't want her to do no nudity. And what she did, she jumped naked the first chance she got. So we know Russ and his greasy hat don't control nothing. So Russ is out. It wasn't the baby, and it wasn't the fact that she was sad. It's the fact that she is stuck up and stuck on herself and doesn't care about anybody else but Paula. Let's move on to the next couple. Last but not least is Asin and Nicole. Now, I'm not going to say I told you so, because I love y'all. Y'all are my people. But I will say that once again, 2 weeks in a row, I was right. Start out this episode with Nicole and May, unleashed, going to visit this lawyer to talk about the denial email and what she can do and what she can do going forward. So she gets in this lady's attorney's office, and I swear to God, I thought she was going to see a witch doctor. Mama Juju Boo Boo sits down and tells Nicole that, you know, this email looks strange to her. It didn't look like anything that came from the government. She doesn't think that it's necessarily something that she can go on. She read it. She said that the wording didn't sound like anything she'd ever seen before. And they also didn't give her a reason for the denial. So she told her basically that she can appeal the denial, but it's going to be impossible to appeal it without a reason why. Nicole said that she emailed them, and they emailed her back and said reference to some section that's basically general. That means you can be denied for a plethora of things, including drug trafficking or staying too long on a visa. I mean, it literally could be anything. Chewing gum in public, who knows? So Nicole is a little bit downtrodden, honey. She's distraught. She doesn't know what to do because this has ruined her chances to marry her dream man, Asin. Then the lawyer perks up and says, well, there is one more thing you can do. Nicole perks up and smiles like she just rolled up in the Krispy Kreme and the hot sign is on. So the lawyer proceeds to tell her about this K3 spousal visa, which basically means she can go to her significant other's country, marry them there, and then apply for a visa to bring them back to the United States with her once they're married. It can take up to a year sometimes, and so Nicole gets the bright idea to take her and May's leash over to Morocco to marry Asin, and then a year later come back and in the United States with her. So first she calls Asin, and Asin answers the phone as if he was just on the phone with his other girlfriend and had to get off to talk to Nicole. He does not sound excited. He's not happy to be talking to Nicole. He's talking very dry and just drier than Asin normally does. So she proceeds to tell Asin about the email and the lawyer's visit and what Mama Juju Boo Boo told her and how about the K3 visa, and crickets. I mean, it gets dead silent on the phone. So Nicole just keeps talking about how she and May are going to come to Morocco and marry him there. And wouldn't that be a great idea? Crickets. And finally, when Asin does say something, he says, that would be weird. That would be weird. That would be weird. Me coming to your country and marrying you would be weird. And we're supposed to be in love. You're supposed to be my man. You're supposed to be my baby. You were supposed to just be trying to come to my country, supposedly, right? Remember? You just applied to get a visa to come here. But me coming there and marrying you would be weird? Interesting that Asin would say something like that. So Nicole's like, well, yeah, so then we can have the big wedding and that your aunt always wanted and your grandma will be able to be there. Wouldn't that be great? And Asin pauses again. And then he says, F it, I'll just do something about it. And Nicole is just giddy and like, yay, yes, I can't wait, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, Asin never said yeah. So she's just going on and on and on. And so finally at the end of the conversation, I can just hear the hunch in his shoulders, honey. His head is hanging down. He is distraught. His wheels are turning because he's trying to figure out, how did this plan backfire on me this bad? How did me sending her a fake email saying that I was denied turn into us getting married in Morocco? How, Jesus? How, Lord? Asin is confused because he thought he had an airtight plan, baby. He was like, yes, I'm going to send her this fake email. We're going to go ahead and say we got denied, even though we didn't go on this interview. And then Nicole's just going to stay in America and keep sending me Starbucks money, right? Wrong. She went to Mama Boo Boo Juju and got the K3 idea. And now she coming to Morocco with May and the leash to marry you there. And what, Asin? What you going to do now? What you gonna do now, baby? So Robert Lee is distraught. She doesn't know what to do. She is upset because she does not want Nicole to bring May to Morocco. She's like, can't May just stay here? Nicole's like, no, why would I leave my child? This is my daughter. Would you leave me somewhere? And Robert Lee looked at her like, girl, I would leave you in a ditch on the side of the road. I wish I had. And then she goes and talks to her mom and her stepdad and her dad and her stepmom about it, and they're basically saying the same thing. Why would you want to go marry into a Muslim country? And I saw some people who were basically saying, you know, that they thought that Nicole's stepmom was being kind of racist when she said, why would you marry in a Muslim country? I don't think she was being racist. I think she was literally trying to talk to Nicole and be like, you aren't Muslim. Like, you're not Muslim, and not only are you not Muslim, you're not even curious about becoming Muslim. You're not curious about learning the Muslim religion. You have no respect for the Muslim religion. So what kind of sense would it make for you, of all people, to go over and get married in a Muslim country to a Muslim man? I think that's what she meant, was trying to get Nicole to see that. I don't think she was necessarily saying she didn't want her to go to a Muslim country, but I could be wrong. And so everybody is concerned about poor little May. May is just so happy and go lucky, and she's just oblivious to all this foolishness that her mama has wrought upon her life. She's just so sweet and happy all the time. She's a cute little kid. She likes eating hot bologna sandwiches at 3 a.m. She is just my kind of girl. And I just feel so sorry for her that she has a mother like this, that she has to put up with her foolishness and be dragged by her leash all the way across the world to marry some man that don't even want her. Now, mark my words. I've said it many times before, and I will say it again. Asin does not want to marry Nicole. Asin has absolutely no intentions to marry Nicole. His plan was to send her that fake email, and she would kind of back off, or she would have to stall and figure out something else for the next couple years. But now she done got this K3 visa for Mama Boo Boo Juju, and it done threw a wrench in his plans. He doesn't know what to do right now. He is confused, and his wheels are spinning. He's probably texting friends like, what do I do? She's talking about coming over here and getting married. And they like, dude, we just thought the email was going to get rid of her. We didn't know she was going to try to marry you for real. So we know, we've seen the previews of Nicole buying a dress. Listen to me. Nicole might go over to Morocco. She might go over there. She'll be over there a couple weeks. I give it 2 weeks, y'all. I give it 2 weeks of her being over there talking about a wedding before she come back home. She's not going to marry Asin. Asin is going to somehow figure out a way to thwart these plans. He's going to figure out a way to throw another wrench in the plans and get Nicole to either stay in the U.S. or if she does come to Morocco, she's going to go back. They're not going to get married. Ain't no way, no how. You heard it first here. Asin and Nicole are not getting married. Email was fake. She's going to try to do the K3 visa thing because she is determined, honey. She has Asin in her sights, and she is not giving up because this is the most attractive man who has ever given her the time of day, and she's not letting him get away this easily. She's about to work for this D. So they're not going to get married. I'm telling you, not going to happen. I firmly stand by that. Asin does not like this girl. Asin not only doesn't love this girl, he doesn't even like her. He doesn't even like her presence. He doesn't like anything about her. He doesn't like her size. He don't love her curves. He don't like her personality. All she does is whine on the phone to him, and he just sounds dry, and he just wants them Starbucks checks. That's all it boils down to. There's no love in this house. Love don't live here anymore, and it never did. So that's it. That was this whole episode. Oh my God. This week was pretty good, y'all. It's getting good. It's getting better. I'm looking forward to what's going to happen in the weeks to come. And I'm going on a trip to Aruba. I leave tomorrow. So y'all pray for me and hope that I find me an Aruban husband that I can bring back to the States so we can get married on a K1 visa. And follow me on Twitter for all my live tweets while we watch this show at Nichi P Tweets, NICHI_P_tweets. I love the hashtag 90-day fiance, hashtag 90-day fiance happily ever after. The funniest tweet you'll ever see in your life. Please follow that hashtag while the show is airing. Hit the subscribe button if you'd like to see my videos every single week, and if not, that's cool too. Leave a comment, leave a like. We'll start a discussion. What do you think about these couples? Let me know. I'd love to hear for you. Don't forget to go follow Erin Martin's channel, Pink Shade. She just started a YouTube channel. She's going to be doing video recaps. I'm so proud of her, girl. There's room for you at this YouTube table. Come on. I can't wait. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye.